Hi everyone, I'm Celine of Calla Patterns and welcome to my very first video tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be making one of my free patterns, the Sweet Pea Saddle Bag. This is a smaller sized crossbody bag that is perfect to carry your essentials. It also makes a great first bag for younger kids. In this tutorial I'll be showing you how to make a tassel without the need for any expensive hardware. I'll also show you how to sew in piping and how to sew in an interior zippered pocket. Before starting, head over to my website at bluecallapatterns.com and download your own free copy of the Sweet Pea Saddle Bag, and then we'll get started. In terms of notions and supplies, there's not a huge amount of items that you're going to need to make the Sweet Pea. What you will need is 30 inches of piping. You can make your own, or you can just use the packaged piping. This is pre-made piping, just because I don't want to cover making piping in this tutorial. And then you'll also need one 18mm magnetic snap, a 1/2 inch D-ring for the tassel if you choose to make the tassel. You don't have to. And then you can either use two 1-inch D-rings or two 1-inch triangle rings. These are from Emmeline Bags. For this one I'm going to use the triangle rings just because I have so many, and the Sweet Pea is actually the perfect project for triangle rings. And then for your adjustable strap you're going to need a 1-inch rectangle slide and two 1-inch swivels. You'll also need for your interior zipper pocket a 7-inch zipper, but it will be cut down to 6.5 inches when we're making the bag. We'll see that a little bit later in the tutorial. Of course, like with all patterns, before you start, you're going to want to print out the pattern pieces, and if you prefer to follow on paper, you'll need to print out your instructions. I like to save on paper and ink, so I only print out the instructions and I print it in black and white, double-sided. If you want to do that, you only need to print out the pages 2 to 12. And then you'll also need to print out the pattern pieces, which are the last 4 pages in the PDF document. Like with all my patterns, I recommend that you start by reading through all of the instructions to make sure that you don't miss anything and that you have an idea before you start of what exactly you're going to need to do. Make sure you read the pattern pieces section specifically before you cut out your pattern pieces to make sure you don't cut anything incorrectly or tape the wrong pieces together. For the Sweet Pea, there are no pieces to tape together, so you can just go ahead and cut out all of your pieces, and then we'll get started with cutting. I now have all of my pieces cut. What I've done is, as I've gone through the different pattern pieces and cut out my pieces, I just checked off all of the different parts to make sure that I have everything that I need. When you're done cutting, you should have cut from body C 2 exterior fabric. For this bag I'm using an SX linen, 4 fusible woven interfacing, 2 lining pieces, and then 2 fusible fleece pieces. I'm choosing to do a tassel for my bag, so I have the D-ring strap and then the bottom tassel portion. For my adjustable strap, I did put a note in the pattern that you should cut the strap according to your preferred length. For this bag, I'm gifting it for a young girl, so I just made my strap 42 inches long by 4 inches wide. And I cut the exterior fabric and the fusible woven interfacing. You'll also need to cut for the strap your D-ring connectors. You're going to need 2 exterior fabric and 2 fusible woven interfacing. For the interior zipper pocket, you need 2 pieces of lining fabric. I've used the same fabric as I'll be using for my flap. And you'll also need 2 fusible woven interfacing for the zipper pocket. For the side gusset B, you'll need the same as the body. You'll need 2 exterior pieces, 2 lining pieces, 4 fusible woven interfacing, 2 fusible fleece. For the flap, I have my pieces folded here, but I decided to do the underside of my flap in the same fabric as the exterior. So I've cut 2 pieces of my exterior fabric, 2 pieces of fusible woven interfacing, and 1 piece of fusible fleece. Now, if you prefer your flap to be slightly more structured, you could cut an additional piece of fusible fleece and add it to both the exterior and the lining piece for your flap. So these are all your pieces that you're going to need. So I've gone ahead and fused my woven interfacing to the wrong side of all of my pieces. The only thing I haven't done yet is fuse my fleece, and the reason why is I wanted to talk a bit about your fleece and bulk in the seams. So if you know that your machine doesn't like sewing bulky seams, what you'll want to do is trim away 3/8 of an inch seam allowance along all sides of your fleece pieces before you fuse them to the wrong side of the matching piece. The flap pieces are a bit different because we only have 1 piece of fusible fleece, and you'll be fusing that to the wrong side of the lining piece, not the exterior piece. And the reason why is because we're going to be installing the magnetic snap to the lining piece of your flap, and the fleece will give it a little bit more structure and make the installation of your magnetic snap a little bit more sturdy. We'll do the magnetic snap installation shortly. So now you can go ahead and fuse your fleece to your matching pieces. So your body pieces, your exterior body pieces, your exterior side gusset pieces, as well as your lining flap piece.